Hi everyone. We all use words on a daily basis to communicate information to one another. Every word and every sentence has a meaning to it that conveys an image. The word love conveys the image of you cuddling on the couch with your significant other, embracing each other to the end of the night. It can also easily just convey yourself eating ice cream at midnight. It's But this presentation is not about the definition of love. It's about what is art. When I say art, you often think about the Mona Lisa or the Last Supper, and I do admit, that is art, but not quite. Oftentimes, that's like taking a sentence out of a novel and ignoring everything else. From a quick Google search, we can see that art is defined as the expression or application of human creative skill, typically in a visual form such as a painting or sculpture, producing works primarily to be appreciated for their beauty or emotional power. This is an emphasis on typically in a visual form, typically in a sculpture or painting, something sort of like the Mona Lisa. But the real definition of art comes from two main things. The first being the expression or application of human creative skill. Whether it be expressed in writing or music or dance, art is boundless in so many aspects because it's just the expression of us. The second is that it's primarily appreciated for their beauty or emotional power. Art is boundless and it moves us. Art such as a dance recital that always brings you to tears, or the song that you heard for the 37th time on the radio, that's what moves us. And every January 20th, we are all moved too by an artist named Martin Luther King Jr. You may think I'm crazy for saying that Martin Luther King Jr. is an artist, but I'd also like to propose that outspoken individuals such as Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, all of these individuals could potentially be artists greater than Michelangelo or Da Vinci. Reason being, art is the expression of us and how it moves us. And these outspoken individuals move millions through their lifetimes. They emphasize the image of equality and the fact that the people sitting to your left and your right are equal. They emphasize that image. I do admit, Martin Luther King Jr. never painted on a canvas, but he painted on hearts. He painted on millions of mindsets. And going back to that, when I say the Mona Lisa, you guys all know what I'm talking about. You know of the vignette, you know of the dreary color scheme, you know of the Mona Lisa herself sitting idly by in her stare, you know of all of that. But the same can be said with the image of equality. The image that all of us in this room, regardless of gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, all of these things, regardless of all of that, we are all equals. And that moves me to my next point of what is stopping you? Oftentimes, I see things like this. Things like, oh, I am no artist, I barely can draw a stick figure. Who is guilty of this? Personally, I am, and I know I am. But the thing is, though, that is just a means of blocking out what truly is us. We are humans. We all build up and learn, and though we have our negative times, we have our times where when we were 4 years old, Billy told me my drawing looked stupid, so I walled it off for the rest of my life, until we realized that, wow, we can actually do things. Even though back then, my art may be not appreciated as it is now, back then was back then. And right now means that I have persevered through the experiences that came. And before we know it, we all have a voice. We all have a body and we all have means of expressing ourselves And if you can write, you can build the skill to draw. If you can write, you can build the skill to use a pick on a guitar. If you have a voice, you can learn how to sing. All of these are acquired skills. And before you know it, you will be able to draw, you'll be able to play a guitar, and before you know it, breathtaking murals will come out of all of that. It's easy to get in a negative mindset. It's easy to bash yourselves down and get to the mindset of, we're not an artist or a writer or a singer, we can't do that. But that leads us to a point where we're just constantly bashing ourselves down, always comparing ourselves to others who have attained something. It leads us into a mindset that we are not good enough, that we cannot pursue anything else because we're not capable of it. But the truth is, we all are humans, and we all have a voice, and we all have skills that we can all learn. That's the whole premise of being a human. Everyone in this room can do anything. Everyone in this room, if you can stand up, you can do anything. And I'd like to propose now that you guys are actually all artists too. Though many of you may not paint on canvases for the rest of your lives, you paint on seconds moving forward, you paint on your lifeline, and everything that's going forward is your journey to paint on. And before you know it, every hurdle that has gotten in your way, everything that's been blocking your mindset and walling you off, you will be able to jump over it. Because that is what it means to be human. My middle school art teacher told me that paintings are never finished. They're only put to rest when an artist stops. And this meant to me that perfection will never be attained, that we will never reach so high that we will stop painting, because our pictures will never be complete. We paint on every single second moving forward, and thus we cannot stop moving our paintbrushes. We must paint through our entire lives and bring color and prosperity and all of these things to our lives. There will always be parts when it's hard, when we're beaten down, when there will be a hurdle that's hard to come over, but once we are past that hurdle, we'll stand back and see the colorful mural that unfolded from it. And to end this off, a poem for everyone in the audience. Your art is your embodiment materialized, perceived through your mind, envisioned by your soul, sculpted by your hands. It is your child. Your art is your blood flowing from your veins to the core of you, spouted out through your pulmonary artery to your lungs, because it is the oxygen that you breathe. Your art climbs higher and higher up your mountainous standards, and society's winds often blows it down. Catch it, please. It is your child, though bittersweet, your responsibility to nourish. Your art is a wallflower, often not seen by you. But until it blooms, you must keep shining your light on it. Shine and never stop. Never take your paintbrush off your life. Keep on painting, keep on learning, and remember that art was never defined by the painting in the museum. It was everyone and everything leading up to it and moving forward. Thank you.